Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 45 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today we're on our last day with this first week of the month, this first week of this section, whatever, if you're watching the replay. We're focusing on confidence in action. And our action today, and it's very appropriate because today happens to be Valentine's Day, is love yourself first. Why is this important? Sipping coffee is taking care of myself. I'm sure my throat's funky. Loving ourselves first, and we hear about this all the time, but do we actually do it? I will say, I know this inherently in my heart is right, but I definitely don't behave this way in terms of taking care of myself first before I can share and help other people, love my family, etc. If we don't love ourselves first and foremost, we come from a position of lack or jealousy or envious or frustration or all kinds of negative emotions, because our self-worth can only come from within us. It's like motivation. Motivation comes from within. I don't care how many outside stimulus things you do. Bottom line is, if somebody wants to do something, they will. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it. Ask yourself, am I that same way? If I want to do something, I'll figure out how to do it no matter what. But if any inkling in me or part of me is afraid or outside my comfort zone, or I just don't want it because it doesn't feel like the right thing to do right now, or I don't want to do it right now, I will not do it. I will find 1,000 ways to get things to happen that get in the way of me doing that thing that I actually really don't want to do. So it's more about talking myself into, why is this in my best interest, than putting it off or procrastinating. I'm on a tangent now. But first and foremost, you can't outsource your self-worth. You can't outsource your work ethic. You cannot outsource motivation. You cannot outsource who you really are. And so embrace that and use that in your favor. Self-love isn't selfish. It's absolutely essential and foundational to all of our relationships, our physical health, our emotional health, our mental health, our spiritual health, all the different areas of health, and bold action. If you don't have confidence and don't believe in yourself and don't love yourself, you're not going to take any bold action. You're going to do all the little things that you can to keep yourself teeny tiny and small so that the world doesn't see you and nobody judges you and nobody's uncomfortable if they've ever been around you and you're being yourself. Has anybody ever been shut down for just being themselves? Since I was a little kid, right? My family used to have a saying, pop the cork, Sherry, because I was a very enthusiastic child. I was seeing a lot of that in one of my granddaughters, and I find myself trying to squelch it, and then I take a deep breath and I'm like, oh my God, don't you dare. And then finally, treat yourself with the same kindness and the same grace and the same patience that you would other people. Now, if you're not a patient person, if you don't treat yourself kindly, don't treat other people that way, for heaven's sake, right? Learn that it's up to us to create the life we want, and we do that by loving ourselves and treating ourselves in ways that we would expect other people to treat us, right? We don't expect other people to be rude or disrespectful or mean or put us down, although we run across plenty of people that will do that, right? Guess what? Keep in mind that when they're doing that to you, it is never about you. It is 100% about them, and that's actually their truth about themselves, and that's why they spew it out at everybody else, right? So today, what are we going to do? We are going to write ourselves a love letter. Now, I hope that you'll do this today. It doesn't take that long. I can provide a template if that would help, but I want you to just do it on your own. Maybe it's just a paragraph. Hey, thanks for the 3 top things that you're awesome at, the 3 things you love most about yourself. Focus on that in your little love letter. It can be a paragraph. It can be a novel if you want, but do that for you. Give yourself the gift of acknowledging how awesome you really are, just because you exist and you're a human being, and all human beings are freaking miracles. I don't know if you know that or not, but absolutely, no matter what trials and tribulations you're going through, it's all just part of our journey. Which, when we're having challenges, my trick is to look at it as an adventure or a challenge or a problem to be solved, but focus on the solutions, not on the problem. So today, acknowledge your strengths, your growth, your resilience, your consistency, your good qualities, and bottom line, 100% worthiness, right? We are all human beings, therefore we are divinely worthy, and loving ourselves is the beginning of that. You know, everybody says, you know, you can't love anyone else unless you love yourself first. And it's so, so true. Think about examples of that in your own life. I guarantee you'll be able to see it. So we're going to write ourselves a love letter. Then we're actually going to do one kind act of self-care for ourselves today. I don't care if it's meditation, hypnosis, or any other tool that you like that makes you feel good. Getting your face out in the sunshine, going for a walk, go buy yourself a coffee at the coffee shop and just sit quietly for 5 or 10 minutes. To me, that would be very heavenly. And if you're struggling with this, guess what? We all do. We ebb and flow in all of these areas and aspects of our life. But if we don't become self-aware and pay attention to them and how we can continually improve, we just stay stuck. And we don't just stay stuck. We start to decline, right? It's why a lot of old people lose different aspects of their health because they stop doing the things that kept them healthy along the way. Reflective questions. Let's ask a couple of those today. And then I'm going to actually take action and do something that I stumbled across and looked for this morning that I have been wanting to do for a long, long time. And it's a complete act of self-love. And I'm going to share it here with you today. But let's think of our reflective questions first. First, if I love myself unconditionally, which you sure as heck oughta, we love our kids unconditionally, which you sure as heck oughta. You know, if you don't love your kids and your self unconditionally, that is a fatal problem and challenge that you need to address immediately. I think I can say that with 100% confidence. But how would you treat yourself differently? If you unconditionally love yourself, would you have all that negative self-talk that comes from the little devil on your shoulder, or more of that cheerleader angel talk from that angel on your shoulder? What would you do if you believed, I wrote this in my first person, so I says, what would I believe if I was worthy of my own time, energy, effort, kindness? How would I treat myself differently? And then finally, how can I be my own biggest supporter, my own biggest cheerleader again, instead of my own worst critic? I don't know about you, but the voice in my head, it's changing, but it still is very, very critical of everything. And I say everything I do, everything I think. And becoming aware of that is the first step in switching that from the negative to the positive. So here's the thing I decided I would take action on. After my divorce, I bought myself a present and I put it away in my jewelry box and I never let myself wear it. So today, as an act of self-love, I am removing it from my jewelry box and I am putting it on my finger. And I'm going to wear it today, probably. Maybe I'm going to put it on my finger. I think maybe I didn't put it on my finger because my right hand has more arthritis and it's harder to fit on than my left hand. I'm going to wear this today. Maybe I'll keep it on for longer than today, and maybe I'll wear it more often than today. But it's a huge source of challenges and setbacks that I've allowed to come into my life because of that event and the events leading up to that event. And so today I'm taking back my self-worth and self-love and saying I deserve to be happy and loved just like every other human being on the planet. All right, if you need help with any of this, if you have any questions, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow. Bye. Happy Valentine's Day.